So we'll talk about insurance plans now. Insurance plans very similar to our healthcare plans, but somewhat these coverage types are slightly different than healthcare plans. Let me go ahead and create one just for all plan details. So far, whatever we configured, it looks same. All are same. Long back looks like created already. Okay. Remaining everything same. GPL, worker plan eligibility. If UI is evidence of insurability applicable for US. But the difference here is insurance coverage. Okay. Insurance coverage, increment of currency coverages, multiply of salary coverages, percentage of salary coverages, or flat rate. Okay. Rest of the entire plan remains same. Coverages also include employee, dependents, etc. But the only difference here is these three values and the flat rate. In today's session, we will spend some time to understand what is these three coverages, how to create, what is this insurance risk, and how to create. That we'll learn in our today's session. Okay.
Okay.
Rest of the plan is quite same except these three values. So that's why we have to spend some additional time here. Okay. First, we'll try to understand what is this insurance coverage. Before that, what is insurance plan in general? What is insurance plan?
So which covers the, I mean, how to explain, how to put in these words?
No problem.
If
It's
something
like,
happens to a person or disability
exactly.
or something, yeah.
Right. Some LTD, long-term disability,
Yes.
SPD, short-term disability, or if really some risk happened to an employee, this insurance plan will be helpful for the family.
Yeah.
Okay. The insurance plans calculations, actually, this part, multiples, as I said. So let's talk about all these three options in detail. First thing, increment of currency coverage. Second one, multiples of salary. Third, third one, percentage of salary. Okay. First one, increment of currency coverages. What does it mean? The increment of currency coverages defines increments of amounts. Okay. Defines increments of amounts. Example, $50,000 or 100,000 US dollars or 1,50,000 US dollars. So if any risk happened to an employee, or if any long-term disability happened to an employee can choose $50,000, $1,00,000, $1,50,000, a specific amount, ma'am. Okay, a specific amount employee is eligible. In such scenarios, we will go with coverages. That is called increment of currency coverage. It will be increment. Similarly, multiply by salaries. Multiply by salary. You can multiply the employee's salary. How it works. This defines coverage options based on multiples of salary. What is mean by multiples of salary? For example, an employee earning base pay $10,000 now. Okay. Let me take a smaller number, $1,000. Employee earning base pay $1,000. This $1,000 we will multiply something like 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x. What does that mean? $1,000 multiplied by 2. Employee eligible for 2,000 US dollars insurance coverage. $1,000 multiplied by 3,000 US dollars. So here you're taking the employee salary and you are multiplying the salary. If you have such requirements, so please choose multiplies of salary. Multiplies of salary, in fact, the full name is coverage. Okay. The last one, percentage of salary, is very similar to a percentage based plan. Okay. You will take the salary, how it works. This defines coverage is based on percentages of salary. What does that mean? An employee earning 1,000 US dollars, in which the insurance coverage is 50%. How much employee eligible for coverage? $100 US. So it will calculate based on the percentages. So let me quickly again explain. One is based on the increments, 50,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 4 lakh, according to customer requirements. If the customer said there's an amount based plan and it will be increment and it will be different to executives can be up to 1,50,000, management can be up to 1 lakh, and non-management up to 50,000, then we can go with increment by currency. If the customer has a requirement, they would like to give the insurance coverage based on the salary, multiply of salary, 10 times, 5 times, 8 times, like that. We can go with multiply by salary coverage. Or the last option, percentage of salary. Here the percentage is completely based on your employee salary. Not only salary, you can also include all the components also. Okay. So today we'll talk about, or we'll create these 3 options. First we'll do insurance coverages. Okay.
Yeah.
So to create these 3, the task remains same only. It's not different. The task remains same. Go to the terrain. What one we are choosing first? Increment of currency coverage. Text the task, create insurance coverage, create insurance coverages, enter the effective date. So let me call it as R&D coverage based on currency. Coverage based on currency, the first option. Okay, increment of currency by coverage. Okay. So based on the radio button here you are selecting, the values will be changed. Okay. Would like to give descriptions? Okay, if you'd like to give descriptions, you can give the descriptions here. This is purely optional. Or in which scenario it will be helpful? So we can give some kind of instructions, not mandatory. Here, amount-based coverage level names will be available. Select create amount-based coverage levels. Name RMD amount-based coverage levels. Currency USD. Coverage starts. Let's say we'll give 10,000 increment by 1,000. Okay, so we'll take the same example. So what we will do is 10,000 up to minimum 10,000, maximum up to 50,000. Okay, or 1 lakh up to customer record. So here enter coverage starts from minimum coverage we are offering 10,000. These details are to provide by the customer. We are not supposed to assume and create one. Here I'm just giving some basic numbers. Okay.
Okay.
Coverage ends from, let's say, dollars. Okay. Coverage minimum 10,000 up to coverage end is 1 lakh US dollars or 100,000 US dollars. Increment by 10,000 US dollars. What happened now? 10,000, right? Increment by 10,000 I did. So what Workday will generate automatically the coverage is 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60, 70, 80, 90, up to 100,000. Okay. So now select OK. So remember again, coverage start is 10,000, end date is 1 million, or I mean 1 lakh US dollars, increment by 10,000. So automatically Workday will generate from 10,000 to 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, up to 1 lakh US dollars. Okay.
Okay.
Now save this record. Now here we have all the coverage levels are available. Now the coverage amounts, related actions, whatever the coverage levels you created, these are all the coverage amounts are available. So if you want to allow, for example, the insurance plan, you are creating 3 plans you are creating. Short-term disability, long-term disability, risk. Risk means death, let's say. Okay. If you're creating a short-term disability, you want to allow the employees to choose coverage up to 30,000. Up to 30,000. Select these 3 values. So whenever creating that plan, whenever the employee enrolling into the plan, they can see only these coverages they have to select. If you're creating a plan for STD, so STD means, sorry, LTD, long-term disability, up to 50,000 you are giving. Or if it is severe risk, you're giving maximum of 1 lakh US dollars, which means you're giving employee employee to choose the option how much they need. Okay, how much they need coverage amounts. 10,000, 20,000, they can select either of the value.
So if they select either of, sorry.
Go on, please. Let's go on.
Yeah, if they select either of the amounts, so accordingly he will pay the amount.
Exactly. 2 things, ma'am. Sometimes employer contribution is there, sometimes employee contribution are there, or both also there. Correct?
Yes.
So that comes under rate. That comes under rate. We had to discuss that. Here we are talking about only these 3 options.
Okay.
Or sometimes employee may say, create LTD. This is the max. This is the value. By default, employee, we are not allowing employee to choose. This is the value we are giving by default to the worker. Okay, coverage up to 100,000 US dollars.
So whatever it may be, like STD or LTD or risk.
Yeah. Up to, as I said, customers require. You can reuse also customers requirement.
Okay.
Then this is we have went to coverage one, salary minimum multiplier, maximum multiplier, like minimum and upper base. Okay. So this is not applicable for our coverage type. Please ignore. So minimum multipliers we can choose here.
Okay.
Because the format remains. Ignore this one, it's not applicable. You can scroll down further, combine all jobs for salary source. What does it? This is also not applicable. In fact, these are applicable for these options. But let's talk now. Sometimes an employee may be in more than one job, right, ma'am? More than one job, additional job. So would you like to include both salaries for calculation? Yes. Combine benefit jobs for salary source. Sometimes I have traveled to USA. As per my company policy, if Karen travel to USA for 1 year, healthcare plan, insurance plan is company will give you free. At that time, my primary position, US or India, whatever has been tagged as the primary position, only that position salary will be considered. Source of calculation. Okay, so you get 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. What is the source? Is it total base pay or base pay or any particular compensation element? We can select here. So as I said, kindly ignore this one. These are not applicable for this event. Okay, these are applicable for multiplies of salary coverages. Okay, calculate the values as of event date. Event date is nothing but from when you are assigned the plan to an employee. From that date onwards, initiate this calculation. To make it simple, start the coverage of chosen amount. Or you do have an option to select a specific date. Beginning of plan year means 2023 January 1st onwards. Even though you initiate the plan today, it is effective from coverage effective from calculation will be happen from 2023 Jan 1st onwards. Okay, coverage begin date is nothing but initiation date, event date. The same things wherever in the enrollment event rules, I hope you might be seeing on the event date, on coverage begin date, same fields also. Specific date, remaining things also will cover on enrollment rules. Specific date and month, you can give on 9th month, September 15th, the coverage should start. Okay, now coverage here, we are not talking about employer contributions rates. Here we are just talking about a component in the entire insurance plan, coverage values. How much the employee is eligible up to. The coverage should start when? On particular date, employee birthday, or employee whenever you trigger the plan from that date onwards is controlled by calculate as of date, but by default it should be event date only. Sorry. And round amount to, it's nothing but what do you call rounding rule. So for sometimes some decimal values will come, you want to round up to $1, round up to $0.5. Okay, you can give these values. Okay, let's say I will give round amount to $1. Up, down, round up on number. Round down means less, ma'am. Never ever we don't select this one nor this one. Round up on number means particular number you have to give. By any chance the coverage has met with decimal values, round up number will give. By default, we'll select round up number, which means if any employee got $99, it will round up to $100. If any employee got $999, round up to $1,000. Okay, this is called rounding rules. Round the amount and then multiply, or multiply then round the result. Sorry, ma'am. It's a little more technical as I said insurance. Are you clear what we are discussing here?
Yes.
Right. Either up. So what happens is, let's say employee calculation coverage is 999. I would like to add $1 extra to make it $1,000. I will select round up. Okay. Round down means employee is other way around it works. Employee got $1,001. I'm gonna round down to $1,000. So this we cannot predict, right? 1 million employees when you're working, who will go
Yeah.
$1 extra, who will go $1 extra. Yes, we cannot predict. So either you have to give one round down, round up, or give only a particular round of number. Once it trigger 99 US dollars, then only add $1 US extra. So these are all controls.
Okay.
Or round amount, then multiply. What happens here is, what are the criteria rates, employee rates are there? No, it will check the rate, okay, and then multiply. If the amount rate is decimal, first round up the amount and then multiply. Our other option is round the amount first and then multiply. The two options here we have. Do not round if age reduced. We also have insurance coverage based on the age, dependent age. We will discuss that one. On this part, any questions?
No, it's clear.
This is, what is this? Increment of currency coverage. Yeah, select. Okay. Next one is multiplies of salary coverage. 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x, like that. Let's create this as well. Same task. We'll select this. Okay. Multiplies of salary coverage. Yeah. So these two fields are to allow you insurance coverage minimum, any upper limit you want to give. For example, I hope if you remember our housing allowance plan when we're creating in core HR, we
Yes,
have
yes.
a ceiling amount, right, man? Then
Yeah.
I don't want to pay more than this amount. So very similar to that. If you give some number here, though the coverage says it's more value, it doesn't pay more than this. Similarly, minimum amount. Okay. If you want to say like this is the minimum amount it has to enter, then you can enter the minimum value. But basically, when we are doing these calculations, right, we won't go with min and maximum. Directly, we'll go with calculations. So they have given this provision additionally. Okay, this something works differently. Allow coverage up to maximum. You can select this checkbox if you are giving these amounts. Okay, if you're not giving these values, please unselect this. Same, combine all jobs if the employee working on more than one job, or combine all the jobs and do choose only the primary position of the employee, which has been tagged to the benefit jobs. Benefit jobs in the sense, combine all jobs in the sense, if an employee has more than one position, combine all the salaries. Benefit jobs in the sense, the short-term international travel, insurance will give, right? So if any employee traveling, companies will offer insurance.
Yeah.
Right. Companies will give insurance. So for them, it is called benefit jobs. Scroll down again. Here it works different. So this just now we discussed rounding rules and all. This remains same. Now benefit multiply order. Now here first we have to cover the level names. Similar to the one what we created increment of currency coverage. Select the prompt. Create multiple multiplier based coverage levels. Name it as RMD. What we'll call same name will give multiplier based coverage level. Now same. What are the coverage levels you want to give? Levels on salary. 1 time of salary, 2 times of salary, 10 times of salary. So same will give multiplier by 1 and by 10 times of salary, increment by 1. You can give your own values as well. So what happens here? 1 to 10 and it will increment by 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 10 increments. Selected. So we can also override these values. If you don't want to go with this, customer said 20 times, 30 times, we can just remove these values and we can give our own values as well. Okay, select OK. Now here, employee total base pay, or you can select what are the base pay you would like to, or compensation elements. Here, the 10 multipliers we created will be available. If you select these three, whenever employee enrolling into the benefit plan, employee will choose this option, either of this option. If he select one multiply by the total base pay, 2 multiply by the total base pay, 3 multiply by the total base pay, like that it is. Let me select all. Any questions, ma'am, here on this part?
No, it's clear, Kiran. Thank you.
Okay, definitely require some practice. Then percentage based one. Percentage of salary. So as usual, is like what are the coverage you want to give, you would like to give. The coverage is completely based on the percentage. Rate insurance coverage. Good. Select the create insurance coverage. Affected at 1. What it is? Percentage of salary. So currency USD. Remaining feels same, no difference. But here percentage based coverage levels. Create percentage based coverage levels. And here you already have percent, of course, based on here whatever creating will be available. The same method I'm taking. What will be RMD? Oh, add row button. So let's say I will select 10%, 20%, 30%. We have to give just numerics. Once you select, automatically the percentage will be available here. Okay, ma'am. So it will look into the employee salary and then 10% will be calculated, 30% will be calculated, 50% will be calculated, like that. Or you want all the employee to choose only one coverage, you can select, or you want to give an option to employee to choose either of these coverages, you can select. Any questions, ma'am? Yeah.
No, it's clear. So normally, Kiran, the names what we give in real time, we give the same way.
No. So what will give plan name will be there, no? So what we do is like this will be. LTD will be different, STD will be different, right, ma'am? So we will give this way. The reason why I'm giving RMD, etc. is
Yeah, that I know to just remember what we configured right here.
right. Or we can also denote this way, insurance coverage, percentage base, like that.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions, ma'am? Yeah.
No.
Okay. Right. So 3 we covered, right? Now let's also create quickly the rate method. Okay, the rate method. Then we will see how to join. And let's see if any errors also. I'm expecting error, in fact, because since I'm using this tenant, but we will see. Okay. Yeah. Just go with flat rate one. Exit the task, create insurance rate. This is the second component for insurance plan. I hope you might be remember based on employee age, years of service, employee salary. In healthcare, we get similar. This
Yes.
also will cover it again. Don't worry. So we'll create what name will be RMD insurance rate. Method rate of calculation. We'll go with flat amount per covered dependent or flat amount. And then dependents age one. This I will pick up in tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
Let it be very basic. The amounts are different based on the gender. Select this checkbox. But remember, Workday doesn't track it male, female, or undeclared based on the person. Just for references. Okay, reporting purpose. That's all. Is this employee using tobacco? Yes. This is also flag. It doesn't mean some additional amount the employee has to pay for this. No, this is a flag. Okay, this is a flag in the sense the vendors who are providing this insurance, right? For the data will be shared with them. It is gender based rate. Also we are also tracking the employee tobacco use. When you set this tobacco use, what happens? The employee, whenever enrolling into the plan, right, Workday will ask the employee, are you consuming tobacco? Yes, declare. Like that. So let's select this, we'll test. Okay. Name. Okay, anyhow, we have description optional. Go to, oh, I selected flat rate, right? Sorry. Employee demographics for dependent rates, different locations. If you have different states with different rates, we can maintain like very similar to compensation grade profiles. But I'm expecting it should, okay. I select okay, then the rates will come. Perfect. This is what I'm offering. So I selected gender right now. Based on the gender, the rate will be default. Like this, it will come. What are the genders has been configured? Female, male, or not declared. So we will provide the different rates. So I don't want to go with this option. I'm just showing. I don't have an option. Should have, right? Yeah. Remove the gender. Now see. The name already used because already saved. It's okay. Now I will get, once I select two rates here, that's all. Okay. So tobacco use, since I already selected tobacco use, I will get like this. If employee does not use tobacco, what is the cost? If the employee uses tobacco, what is the cost? Okay. So like this, the two things will come. So whenever the employee enrolling, right, Workday will force the employee, you should declare whether you're using tobacco or not. For example, I give $5. Here I give $10. If the employee selected, yes, I'm using tobacco, this amount will be defaulted. He has to pay. If the employee chooses, I'm not using tobacco, this amount will be defaulted. Okay.
So he need to pay a little extra if he uses tobacco? It's not mandatory, right?
Not mandatory. It depends
Oh.
on the company policies, etc. Yeah.
Okay.
No. So now, let's see what happened. Okay, again the name will. That's okay. If I unselect it, it will give error message because the name already in use. Okay, you can see only two rate bands, regular rate bands. We will call it as what is the employee cost, what is the employer cost. Let's say employee cost is $5. Employer is not contributing since it is in, okay, let's give employer also $5. Okay. This is how you can create rate